Hello, Sandy. Thank you so much for talking to me today. We're here with Sandy Munro, of course, an expert on lots of different things. And today I want to talk to you about Tesla's Robotaxi launch, but also somewhat how it relates to the Cybercab, the brand new vehicle, only 2 doors, no steering wheel, no pedals, anything like that. So I have a few questions for you. First of all, what do you think of the Robotaxi launch that's taking place in Austin over the next couple of days?
Well, this is an historic moment. I equate it to things that, like, the first telephone call and stuff like that. We're looking at a real vehicle, not a pretend vehicle, not a prototype or something. This is a real vehicle that's going to be really delivered, and it's really going to be going on the road. No screwing around, and there's going to be no driver. And to me, this is the shining example of what everybody thought was going to happen a long time ago. I'm still waiting for my flying car, but at least now I've got a car that'll drive itself.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so on top of that, do you see, Elon has talked a lot about other companies licensing the full self-driving technology. Once they find out Tesla can actually do it, they're years behind. Do you see any other companies doing that? And who do you think would be the first to be interested in that?
Well, one of the biggest problems with self-driving is that Tesla owns the boxes that communicate. It would have to be a situation where whatever the company was would have to get rid of a lot of boxes that they're buying currently from some other manufacturer. So that's going to be a big hit. If I was going to pick one, as I mentioned when we were talking up here, I believe that if I was going to pick one, it'd be Ford, who was the first to go to the Tesla charging system,
the NACS,
that on and on and on. Who was the first one to have a truck that was electrified? On and on and on. It's always been Jim Farley and Ford, and that's the way it works. So that's where I think if there's going to be something like that, that's where I put my money.
Okay. So in terms of, we have the Robotaxi, which is more of a service where any Tesla vehicle can drive itself around driverlessly. Next to that, we have the Cybercab, which is a purpose-built Robotaxi, right? Without the steering, without the pedals. You got to see that in person. You got a really nice in-depth look. Yeah. Was there anything you saw or noticed about it that you would say gives it a significant advantage in being a Robotaxi over something like, the Cybertruck or our Model 3s or Model Ys that we currently own?
Yeah. Okay. So a taxi isn't your pride and joy car. It's a taxi. So what I looked at when I saw it was that the car itself is designed specifically to be a taxi. So it doesn't have any frills. It's made for durability and long life, and the occasional guy who pukes in your car.
Sure.
So that's the kind of thing that I think really sets it apart. Mm-hmm. It's purposely built and designed and built so that it's a taxi type vehicle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So hardware-wise, I know in the past we've talked about what hardware the vehicles will need to actually be full self-driving, driverless, and you've brought up FLIR in the past. I don't know if you're still in that camp, but I wanted to give you a chance because a lot of people said, no, we don't need that. I wanted to give you a chance to bring up that or any other hardware you think would be either necessary or extremely helpful, and kind of defend, that position.
Well, I've been a big fan of why don't we have drive-by-wire, brake-by-wire. So the Tesla vehicle now has everything.
Okay.
FLIR, forward-looking infrared, is is something that I would use for snowstorms, fog, heavy rain. It works remarkably well. Is it cheap? No. Will it be cheap? No. But is it the safest thing around? Yes. What's my next choice? Cameras. Do I like radar? No. Do I like LiDAR? No. There's a lot of things that it's good for, but for me, it's not useful. And even though now there's more of it around and whatnot, and the price will go down, but at the end of the day, really and truly, I don't think you need much more in cameras. Okay. If I was going to add something, I'd add FLIR.
floor. Okay. Are you going to be in Austin to try to Robotaxi soon, you think?
I don't know. But I do know one thing. I want to try and buy one as fast as I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What do you think of Starship's engineering?
Spectacular.
Yeah.
When I was working with Boeing on the rockets that they had, my team, the Munro team, we recommended a ton of things. And none of them were implemented because we had all these PhDs that said, no, you can't do that. You have to do this with these honeycomb pieces, and we're going to use chemical etching, chemical machining for them. Cost a fortune, took forever. And then when you rolled them, they cracked. So I look at that and say, why didn't they just do what we said, grab a chunk of stainless steel, roll it up, vertically build, not horizontally build, and guess what?
Yeah.
They wouldn't do it. First time I saw that I went to Starship, very first interview with Elon Musk was at SpaceX. And how are they building them vertically? Just the way. What were they doing? Where they were welding them? Where'd they get the welders? Mexico. Mexico has a lot of really good welders. In the morning, they'd splash across the Rio Grande and start welding. Spectacular jobs. Spectacular jobs. I mean it sincerely. These guys know what they're doing.
Right.
Why didn't they do it at Boeing? Well, we had a book. And it was written by Von Damme, or what was his name? I can't remember. But anyway, he wrote it in 59 or 60 or something like that. And that's what they went with. So there you go.
Okay. These are a couple of questions from fans that I said I would get to you for them.
Oh, okay.
So what originally fueled your passion for vehicles?
For vehicles?
Yeah.
Okay, so I grew up in a farming area, and I picked tomatoes and whatnot when I was about 9. About 11 or 12, I can't remember what exactly happened, but the combine broke for the farmer that I was working for, and he got all upset. He couldn't make anything work, and he went away. And I was looking at it, and I started taking the flipping edges apart and whatnot. And I found out there was rocks in it, so I don't know. Anyway, I fixed it up. And when I had it apart, I noticed, well, this thing's all dirty. So he had a belt sander. I sanded them all, put them all back together, made sure that they'd go back and forth so they would crop properly. And the farmer then took me off picking tomatoes, and I got to do something else.
That's awesome.
That was a lot more fun than picking tomatoes, and paid more.
I did not know that story. That is very cool.
Yeah.
All right, I got one more here for you. It is, somebody wants to know, when are we going to see more Sandy rant videos on YouTube?
You're going to see one pretty soon, because I'm going to be talking about, I'm going to be very unhappy and talking about why haven't we got tradesmen.
Yeah.
And so if you're an MBA, don't watch.
Okay, we love those videos. Thank you so much.
All right, good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks again.
Yep.
Yep.